We'll open it up for questions for Bryce. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Bryce, what's been the tone in the offensive line room the past couple of days, and how do you guys plan on getting back on track this week?
I'll probably say the tone is we just gotta we're taking responsibility for everything that happened last Saturday, and we're gonna start by getting better today. We got better today, practicing harder, and we'll get better tomorrow and the next day.
Bryce, what are the coaches focusing on in that regard?
I'll probably say just practicing harder. We're more like we're focusing on ourselves. We're gonna take responsibility. We're gonna work harder every rep. We gotta work harder today to see the effects on Saturday. So just practicing harder.
Bryce, what did the video show you about those short yardage situations that didn't work out on Saturday?
After watching the video, like I said, it's just still on us. We just got to do better. We got to execute. We got to come off the ball. We got to be a Pitt offensive line.
Bryce, what was the difference? Did you see any kind of difference between the quarterback sneak push you got versus the other plays you tried to run?
Yeah, I feel like once we called the sneak, we came with a completely different mindset when we called the other plays, which it shouldn't be like that. We should have the same mindset on every play, but I thought we came with a different mindset after they had stopped us the first time that it wasn't going to happen again.
Bryce, do you think that, when they did stop you guys, that series down there, do you think that's something that will stick with you guys for a long time? At least like throughout the season, like remembering that, like I know that you guys kind of, watch one game, flush it, move on to the next, but it feels like that could be a series that you guys go back to and say, hey, not only did you want to not have it happen again against NC State, but going forward even in other games as well.
It'll definitely be in the back of our minds every time we get another situation like this, and we're going to work to not have that feeling again, So we're just going to keep it in the back of our minds and move on and not let it happen again.
Bryce, can you give us an idea of the talk in the room, just mood of the room moving forward here for Boston College?
They're a good team, so we're going to come to play. We're going to step it up from last week. We're going to execute. We're going to do everything we need to do to get better. We're just moving forward. That's how we're looking.
Bryce, what have you discovered this week about the Boston College front seven?
They're a good team. They play fast. They play hard, which is good. That's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to a hard game. That's what we want.
Bryce, when you were looking at the film and you guys are looking forward and how you could improve this week, did you find those improvements to be more about you guys' own fundamentals, or was it more like game plan adjustments that you guys put in and they just might not have sunk in as well for last week?
No, it was completely on us. Coach Whipple and Coach Borbs always have a great plan. We just gotta execute better, execute everything he calls. So we'll take that as players.
Bryce, DJ was telling us his family came up from Maryland last week, hoping to be able to get into the game. How anxious is your family to get into a game? And it looks like you'll have it for Notre Dame. What will that be like to have fans again at Heinz Field?
Man, my mom calls me every weekend asking if we're gonna have fans. So finally get to tell her yes. We're excited for that, and that's just more momentum and more focus moving on for us.
Bryce, finally get a four-man front. Does that make it hard to kind of take any, I guess, sort of schematic or that kind of lessons from last week, because you come into a kind of a completely different approach here?
I wouldn't say it was hard. We play against a four-down front every day against our defense, so it's nothing new, nothing hard, so we'll be ready for that.
I just meant, does it kind of make it like you can't necessarily take like a direct lesson from anything that happened last week and apply it to this week's game?
Like schematic, okay. There's still stuff you can take, like fundamental wise, as in your footwork, your hand placement. Obviously, not the same angles in front, but there's still a lot you can learn from last week's film and to capitalize on it for this week.
Any final questions for Bryce?
Bryce, I guess you guys going on the road for the first time this week, first time this season. What do you think that's going to be like? Is it even a concern at all for you guys with the pandemic, obviously, and I know Boston's kind of in the red, going in terms of the COVID situation there?
No concern. We're ready to go on the road. We're gonna stay safe. Same thing we always do here. We're going to keep it going there, and we're actually excited to play or go out there to Boston and play. I've never been, so it should be a good experience.
Bryce, Kenny said after the Louisville game that one thing that Louisville was doing was simulating you guys' snap calls to try to get you to jump on false starts. Was that something that you guys saw and it didn't really impact you guys in this last game against NC State? And how have you guys adjusted to knowing that challenge might be coming with, quieted stadiums?
Yeah. We've actually practiced that every week, so just a precaution, you never know what the opponent's going to do, so we prepare for everything.
Well, Bryce, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys.
We'll open it up to questions for SirVocea.
SirVocea, you guys took on Boston College last year, and they were kind of more of a running team, but this year they seem to be passing a lot more. I mean, what are some of the similarities and differences you see between last year and this year?
Well, they definitely still have a good line. Like, their line is unbelievable. But they still have a couple of plays that they carried over from last year, even with the new head coaching change, that, we'll be able to work on and be able to know how to stop. But this is a great team. We'll take nothing from them. I think we can get after them, though, with our defense, fast and physical.
SirVocea, how challenging is Jurkovec as a quarterback? And as a Syracuse guy who played the Orange, you know how fired up you were. And I imagine you expect him to be fired up playing his hometown team.
Definitely. I think Jurkovec is a good quarterback. He reads his keys well. He plays well. He's big. He's maybe hard to tackle for a lot of guys, but I think we can still get after him. He'll be able to do some things that we haven't seen, but I think we'll still be able to play our best defense.
Before Cam went down, how much had you played to the field this year, and how much was that something you were kind of working on the go there?
Well, during practice, I actually do both. I play star and money, just in case, one of those guys go down. But to the field, I probably took out Cam once or twice this year for a quick sub. But it's not an unusual position for me. It's something I actually came in learning. I learned that star position first and then switched to money. So I'm very comfortable with the position.
SirVocea, you guys gave up the defense gave up 2 touchdowns to tight ends in the last game, and now you're going up against Hunter Long with Boston College. What's some of the talks that you guys had that sort of fix up if anything happened amongst the linebacker guys as far as helping underneath, chipping guys, and things that you guys might need to do to tighten up against the tight end this week?
We definitely cleaned up a lot in our defense this week, and that was another emphasis that we had to do with the linebackers is just, play well for coverage for the tight ends. And I think that's a good game plan we have this week, and we're executing it well right now.
SirVocea, you mentioned cleaning up. What did the coaches tell you guys about penalties, and do you feel that can improve greatly in a week?
Definitely. It's we actually worked on a lot of, the false starts and offsides, all those type of penalties today with, just extra claps or hard cadences. But it's something that we could definitely get fixed with all our penalties. It's just we felt we were very undisciplined that game. And we're taking, like I said, that's another emphasis that we're taking on, and that'll get cleaned up as well.
SirVocea,
You guys,
go ahead, John.
thanks, Jerry. Are you guys excited to go on the road for the first time this season? I mean, starting off with 4 games at home, and finally, I mean, there won't be fans there either. But is that something you guys are kind of excited about?
Definitely. A road game is always fun, just to, play in a different atmosphere. Even though there won't be fans this week, we just, still in a different place, and we just want to go in someone else's backyard and play the best football we could play.
Any nerves around the whole, traveling during a pandemic thing? Or are you guys comfortable with where you guys are at as a program in that regard?
Our program has taken the protocols very well, so I don't think any of us are, worried about any of that stuff.
SirVocea, great athletes play with a great pride, and I'm sure that's the case with you guys after you started out 3-0. What happens to a team and to a group of athletes when their pride is hurt a little bit?
We just have to rebound. We have to bounce back, fix the things that we can fix, control the things that we can control, and just get better.
Is there a lot of looking inside yourselves and maybe seeing maybe I could do a little bit better myself?
Definitely. Everyone had that little talk to themselves, probably even that night, that Saturday night, but also Sunday morning, Monday. And we just realized that everyone can do their job better. And once you realize that, we could get better as a team.
SirVocea, you mentioned Boston College's offensive line, and they have a few guys who were all ACC or preseason all ACC. I mean, what do those guys do different? What's maybe different with their offensive line or some of their specific guys that is different than what you guys have seen so far?
They're definitely physical, which, Pitt is physical as well, so we can counter to that. But like I said, they're just a good line. They read their keys well. They're double team, do all their blocks well, use their hands well too. So we just gotta come in this week with a focus and a mentality that we can also be physical and fast and still play our game. It will be good.
SirVocea, the next time you guys play home, it looks like there's going to be fans. The governor said so today. What will that mean for you guys to get your families there and to have spontaneous crowd noise again?
That'll be a joy, My mom hasn't seen me play in a while. I know that'll be something that's very exciting. But just fans in general coming back to Heinz Field, I know everybody wants that. So we can't wait.
Do we have any final questions? Alan, do you have one?
Yeah, there was a couple times where, obviously playing without Cam, you've been playing without Wendell Davis, where, I think it was like, you and Brandon were out there. How have you kind of taken on that, I guess, with a couple guys out, you're now one of the more experienced guys at linebacker, as still a pretty young guy. How's that kind of come for you here?
I just took it head on. I'm ready to play. I feel as if I'm ready to play. The guys around me are behind me. We just got to build our chemistry more, and we'll be more comfortable with each other out on the field.
Anything else? All right, SirVocea, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Have a good one.
You too.